Hello there, lads and lasses of the pipe smoking community of Ireland. This is the Pipepastor coming to you today for my my weekly resident video on Mondays. The last time that you guys saw my own esteemed self was when I was reduced to a blubbering mess of emotions as I was presented this way over the top gift of a top line Peterson pipe, and it was just overwhelming. And it is overwhelming. I love the pipe, but the idea that so many donated to this as a way of giving me well wishes for speedy recovery on my heart surgery in June. And I don't know, I might have trust issues or whatever. I don't trust people very easily, and letting people into my heart, I don't do that very easily. I love people, but letting them love me back is hard for me. This kind of gesture to me is therefore overwhelming, that people, some that barely know me, accept my persona as the Pipepastor, and others my godchildren, both my own children and children that I'm pastor of, some of which don't have any money, to donate the kind of funds that you did for something you know that I will, every time I smoke it, think of you. It wasn't staged. I wasn't prepared. I knew I was being set up, however, because they kept giving me beer and whiskey or mead. Dad, you need to do this. You need to take a little bit of this before you open this. You need to have a little bit of this. I don't know if they were calming me down because they were worried about a heart attack or what it is, but just so that you know, although I'm living on borrowed time, I think we all are. But I don't have a cholesterol problem. I don't have a heart issue, other than the fact that somehow the bad and sticky part of my cholesterol seems to create plaque in my arteries, that hides behind everything. So I don't have high cholesterol. I don't have diabetes. My blood tests come out, and it's like I'm super normal, way above men at my age have, and so to that I'm thankful. But what this means is that we don't know what's really going on with this particular issue, and therefore it's rather precarious. True is the scripture, especially for me, that the Lord has numbered our days, and my days are numbered with the Lord. So I'm good with that. But, it was a wake-up call, and I'm living my life as best I can. As far as health is concerned, no restrictions whatsoever. Of course, like everybody, I need to stay away from a lot of salt and that kind of thing. But as far as worrying about me that I've got a weak heart, I don't have a weak heart. And been clear to go back to the gym. I asked my doctor, I lift pretty heavy. I have a 500-pound bench press. Can I go back to that? Can I work toward that again? He said, absolutely, go for it, whatever you can do. So as far as physically is concerned, I'm top of the line. I'm okay. I'm good. And thankful to God for it, for your prayers for that. But for so many of you that seem, for some reason or another, to care for me, it's just overwhelming. And I'm not gonna cry here. My Irish side has to take over. But it's to me, it's just overwhelming. When someone tells me they're praying for me, what that tells me is they stop something in the middle of their day, which is already complicated. They've already got their own issues. They've already got plenty of things to think about. And they took a moment to pray for me. and to ask God to help me is no small gesture, believe me. So then to dip into your pocket and put money toward a project that my precious son Nicholas put together for me. You know, that's another thing. My family never had an opportunity to get together and process what happened to me. Our family is built on the idea of legacy and patriarchy. And so my family honors me and respects me, and I'm literally the head of my household all the way through the branches. That doesn't mean that I exercise some kind of a big power trip. I don't offer any advice unless I'm asked for it. My kids will tell you that. But such is the honor that our family has for basically the top dog in my family, which is me at this time. And to you and to the people in my church, largely to the people in the community, I'm almost a cartoon. I'm bigger than life. And as a result of that, and again, this is hard to process, but I seem to form a kind of a glue around what holds things together. They call me a catalytic personality. And so, be that as it may, if I were to die, it would have impacted my family in a big way, and impact their lives in a big way. And my family just handled it in a remarkable way. My eldest son Ben, is a pastor, one of my assistant pastors, and he took the workload that was put on him in my absence, and he handled it. And my son Nicholas went to work trying to put something together to let me know how much I'm loved, and he handled it. And my daughter handled it. My precious wife handled it. They dealt with it. They moved on. They got, what needed to happen and what needed to take place. They just moved on, and they handled things, and it all was around me, and it was all built around me recovering and me going on, and they never were afforded the time to process how they were feeling. I don't know that this happened, but I assume that maybe Nick Boldle Donahue, my sensitive son, had his own private moment of tears and weeping and dealing with it, and his precious wife Alicia, who was very, very dear to me and close to me, just lost her father, and so this had wide implications for her. My eldest son Ben has always been the boy that's dutiful and shoulders things and gets on with things, and not really in touch with his emotions at the time. You never know what he's feeling at the time, because he's just, we call him our Odie, in the Garfield cartoons. He just handles things. But he feels things deeply, and we don't know this until later on when he expresses himself in stories and in sermons. And I'm sure my boy just handled it as best he could and moved on. This must have been absolutely terrifying to my precious wife and to my daughter, and to my daughter-in-law Amy, to my granddaughter Megan, to my assistant pastor Andy, and so many other people. But we just handled it, got over it, moved on, and that's fine. That's okay. I'm not a touchy-feely person, but I am a therapist and I am a counselor, and I understand that if things aren't processed, after a while they kind of form attitudes of sorts. We're still working on it. I still need to find the time to do that, and I'm prayerfully trying to find a way to help my family sit down and just kind of talk about how they were feeling, without it being some kind of morose way of all pointing back to me, because I'm just interested in them offloading and celebrating and acknowledging how this traumatized them. And the fact that it even touched some of you, that don't even know me, basically, and yet have feelings for me. It's crazy, man. So they all had its moment in the last video. And I'm not real proud of that video, and it's really deliberated putting it on for everybody to see, which is basically 15 minutes of hearing in the background jets having their exercises so you can't hear anybody, and then me blubbering like a baby. But I appreciate the personal things that you have written to me about that, and I guess this is a rather long and blusterous way of saying to you once again that the emotion was the punctuation point behind an unverbalized thank you. And I'm going to smoke it today. Some of you had to ask me. I don't know why you even would have to ask me, but you asked me, what's the tobacco that I'm going to break the pipe in with? So I'm going to ask you, my audience today, what tobacco do you know me, and what tobacco would I break it in? Scott Hyland of HylandsCigars.com. Scott, what tobacco would you assume I'm going to break this pipe in with? And if you answered anything other than black gold, then you haven't learned nothing, and you need to be educated. It's going to be black gold. Before I smoke the pipe, let me officially, first of all, thank those members that are members in the pipe smoking environment community and in my YouTube video, first and foremost. And these would include John Aaron Thompson, who is also one of my godsons, adopted member of my family. Herman Opperman. I'm grateful for the amount of money that you contributed, brother. Thank you. And Care Thompson, who's head of our illustrious group. Care, the amount of money that you put for my pipe is way over the top, and I know that you're a successful Irishman and a successful businessman in your own right, but you have expressed your affection and love for me in lots of different ways that have found a way into my heart, and your donation for this pipe, brother, once again, just becomes characteristic of your gracious spirit. And I appreciate it, Care. Honest to goodness, man. And Eric Opheim, way over the top, brother. Scott Hyland of Hyland Tobaccos. Scott, I mean, every year you are showering me with stuff, man. I've given so much tobacco out, the samples that you sent, I could not afford to send any more out because of the postage. So the guilty pleasure is I've had to smoke some of your samples because I couldn't afford to give them out anymore. But I want you to know that every year I'm sort of an evangelist for the HylandsCigars.com website and for their business, because more and more people are blessing the socks off of me for introducing them to black gold. Scott, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And William Gardner, William, thank you, man. Thank you. And Brian Duncan, young Brian, I bless you and I appreciate it, brother. Carl Weiss, Not surprised you were on there. You're always good at encouraging me, and I appreciate Carl. And Tom Spithollers. Tom Spitholler, he donated a pipe he made. Now, you pipe makers know that's no small gift. He donated a pipe to sell, for Nick to sell, and put the contributions toward this pipe. That's an artisan that makes his living off of what he does with his hands. So to me personally, that's your blood, sweat, and tears, and I appreciate it. I do. And I'm going to just say her initials MG because she put anonymous on there. So MG. And I am grateful for both the funds that you contributed and the precious words that you wrote on Nick's starter up site, GoFundMe site. You're so precious. Thank you. And Brad Nichols, another one of you young sons in the faith. Man, thank you. And Jake Moffitt, thank you, Jake. Appreciate it. And Matt Baker, Matt, thank you. I appreciate it, son, and more than you know. And Devin Pellu. Devin is an apologist, and he argues for the faith. He's a professor. He's a young son in the faith and up-and-coming defender of my faith who is suffering tremendously personally and physically, whose precious wife, Melissa, is right now battling for her life. She has hardly any feeling below her chest. And I'm praying, Devin, for you and Melissa, and this one more trial after another. Devin could be easily Job in the Bible, and yet continues the work of an evangelist. And Devin and Melissa, my prayers, you know, are with you, and I'm feeling for you. And you don't make a lot of money. For you to donate what you did, that's pretty crazy, man. Bless you for that. And then there's, in my own family, my nieces Candace and Megan, who, they gave so much money. And golly, these are two gorgeous little girls, and well, they're not little girls anymore. They're little girls to me. They done got married and moved on, but they married well, married good men. But that's a lot of money that they gave. It's a lot of money. And Candace and Megan, I love you and very much appreciate it. Now, I got a daughter in the faith, Danielle, that goes to my church, and she gave over and above. I mean, she barely makes it. And Daniela, for you to do that is just a blessing. I appreciate it. You're a blessing. And for the mother of my daughter-in-law, Lynn Simmerman. Lynn, you gave so much money, and you worked so hard for that money. And I think of you all the time, and I do appreciate it. I have a new adopted daughter. My kids don't bring home stray animals. They bring home stray people, and they become my adopted family. And I'm happy for Iris being part of my family. Iris, I thank you for what you gave. Appreciate it. My worship leader in our church, Seth, donated to this, and Seth just had his first child, Emmett Allen. And I'm happy for you and for your wife, and I'm absolutely blessed for what you gave. And then there's Rob Thompson, who's my daughter's personal trainer, health professional, donating money for me to smoke a pipe. You don't find that very often, and Rob, may the Lord forgive you. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Now, one of my adopted Armenian daughters, Anna Garrison, and Anna donated, and it's a blessing. Anna, I love you. Thank you. Stephanie Norcross, who used to live across the street, the skinny little flat-chested Mexican girl, and she married herself well, and she has been a blessing to my family and a support to my family, and I appreciate it, Stephanie. Thank you. My son Ben my son Lonnie, my adopted son Lonnie. I appreciate what you both gave, and thank you for that. And for Melanie and for Brad, my godchildren from church, I appreciate all that you did for me. Thank you so much. So, 20 minutes to give thanks. That's how generous people were to me. Got one more gift before I light the pipe up. And this is from Michael Rizzo. And Michael is soon to join the pipe smoking community as a pipe smoker. And I got a feeling that this guy is going to light it up, because Michael, first of all, is an Epicurean. And that means that he has a taste for the finer things in life. His website used to be pairings of beverages, alcoholic beverages, with pipe tobaccos. And the boy would make you just slaver. I mean, there's nobody I know that can enjoy the nuances of a beer and of a pipe tobacco like he can, that's for sure. And he has taken up pipe making. So keep your eyes out for Michael Rizzo, because I saw his first pipe. He didn't start his first pipe as an easy pipe. It's not an easy shape. And he killed it. He knows, and he's studied, and he's got good trainers, he's got good teachers. And Michael Rizzo sent me a package right here. So let's see what the boy done did. He's got, first of all, he sent me a book called Zipper Accidents. He's a twisted individual, that Michael Rizzo. It says Zipper Accidents and Other Cringe-Worthy Events. I can tell that this is going to be great reading in the reading room, or otherwise known as the toilet, or you in Ireland, you probably say the word loo or whatever it is. So that's part of the package. Michael, thank you. Then he has Metal Earth Corsair 3D laser cut models. This is a 3D laser cut model of that particular plane. And it's pop-out pieces. You put them together and show off your steel model. So this goes well with English muffins, and I don't know what the hell this is, but he sent it to me, so I'm going to try it out and see what's going on. Because he said it, it must be good, but I don't know what the heck it is. So, okay. And he sent me a hardbound The Hobbit from J.R.R. Tolkien. I've read The Hobbit now 13 different times, all the way through, and The Lord of the Rings. And my books are pretty much worn out. So I needed another one of these, and I thank you for it, Michael. You're astute and sensitive for an Italian boy. Let's see what else we got in here. There's enough, but he seems to have packed it with something else. Let's see. Is this here? Anything else in here? All right. Now, one of these days, I'm hopefully going to get a package from Michael that has one of his pipes in it. So here we go. I'm going to light up my Peterson that all you contributed to. Isn't that beautiful? This is one of the unique briars they use, and they only give this kind of briar to their master craftsmen to work on. And it's absolutely stunning. I do not have a pipe with a metal lid, or whatever you call them, cap around the bowl, and I've always wanted one. And this is just stunning, and I thank Glenn Whalen of Peterson Pipe Community for assisting my son in doing this. And we're going to light her up right now. You ready? Here we go. This is almost an $1,000 pipe. So not even Care Thompson has something like this, and this gives me great pleasure knowing that. So here we go. Notice my careful technique. Many of you would stop right now. We call you pipe smoker premier ejaculators. For you beginners, that's called a char. You say, oh, Pipepastor, that looks like a horse fire. Well, I typically don't like to restart my pipe throughout the smoke, so I char the daylight out of it the first time. The draw is absolutely amazing. Basically that's called a fishtail, but it's not as exaggerated at the bit or lip like a fishtail would be. It's absolutely perfect. Big chunk of briar, and it sits in your teeth effortlessly. Draw effortless. Now we come to the next fire upper. This will clinch the deal. My gosh. Got nice thick smoke. Smells like brownies. Sweet like brownies, but then overwhelming. Basically perfumes the air. What a delight. And what a comfort, because I'm a clencher. So I'm used to holding my pipe and doing my work and writing or whatever. This will be blushing. Nice. Well, I'm going to be out here smoking this for a while and enjoying it. And I already got complaints that my videos are too long. Sorry, I don't know how to shorten them. I'm figuring you're just sitting out here having a pipe while watching it, so you don't got nothing better to do. You hear me blather on. Except come over here and you do some blustering, blathering. But as I continue to enjoy this, thankfully and appreciatively, I pray that and I wish for all of you in these times in which we live to have a most peaceful, restful, festive, and meaningful Christ Mass this Advent season. And for those of you that don't know the Lord, I cannot help but pray, and it should be of no surprise to you watching a video of someone called the Pipepastor, that I do pray that before too long you too might know the Savior. This Advent season celebrates Jesus Christ our Lord. So till my next video, God bless you. This is Pipepastor signing off. Sláinte.